Good Tuesday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go ahead and talk about the weather for your Tuesday evening going into your future. We have some stuff that we are going to go on and talk about for tonight. I don't have the what's on tap screen yet. There's some issue going on. The thing that I use to go on and make these scores is under very high demand right now. So unfortunately, not going to be able to get it out just to them having some problems over there. So unfortunate, but I do have the things that we're going to go on and talk about for tonight. We're going to talk about our early morning fog slash sea fog that continues all the way throughout Thursday a.m. Patchy to dense fog continues overnight, early a.m. hours, and then continues tomorrow night into tomorrow morning as well. Unseasonably warm temperatures all the way through tomorrow. Gusty winds potentially as we go into tomorrow and maybe Thursday, or maybe tomorrow and Thursday. Honestly, I should say I should flip those two. Thursday is when we're seeing that, and also we're getting a strong slash stormy cold front Thursday with showers and thunderstorms, breezy as well, and then much cooler, drier, much cooler and drier post frontal going into Friday, going into the weekend. So a lot of things to get going and talking about here tonight, and so we're not going to waste any time. We're just going to go in and get started. If you have not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. Also, make sure you go and hit the subscribe button. Right now, we have around a good 714 subscribers. Again, 714 subscribers, trying to get to that main goal of 800. So we are 86, yes, 86 away from that goal. So starting off, let's see what's going on throughout the entire state of South Carolina. We do have some rainfall activity going on near York, South Carolina, near Sharon, South Carolina as well. Just like some moderate rainfall activity is what's going on, but for the most part, that's about it. As we look at our rainfall and snowfall cover throughout the entire U.S., we do in fact have some rainfall and just overall chaos going on right now over there inside of the central U.S., going on all the way over into the Midwest. I mean, I don't know if y'all have been hearing about it or not already. I've been kind of keeping a monitor at it, just seeing what's going on. I mean, there's right now a very strong, just dangerous, almost violent tornado going on in parts of Indiana, near Wheatfield. I mean, we had severe thunderstorm warnings moving through Chicago earlier. We had severe thunderstorm warnings with 3 inches in diameter hail moving through Kansas City, Wichita, Kansas having 70-mile-per-hour winds. Oklahoma City had a tornado going through as well. Dallas about to get hit with some severe weather, up to 70-mile-per-hour winds. I mean, it's just been insane over here throughout the central U.S., going on all the way up into the Midwest as well. And it's still not done. I mean, there's still a lot of other areas that I haven't even talked about yet. So that's why I've been talking about it and been harping about it for like the past couple of days at the end of the forecast. If you know anybody in these areas, told you to let them know that severe weather was coming their way, and obviously a lot of it has already happened, but a lot more is still to come from it. But there's more than just that. We have rainfall going on right now over here inside of Kentucky, southern Illinois, Indiana. Rainfall going on in parts of Arkansas, eastern Texas, Mississippi, Alabama. Also, we have some rainfall over here inside of Wyoming going on in Nebraska. Snowfall going on over here inside of South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, going on inside of the UP of Michigan. And then over here in the Pacific Northwest, rainfall and snowfall going on right now as well. Now, in terms of our look at our cloud cover, looks like for the most part that cloud cover is mainly just on the isolated side. I'm not really seeing anything too crazy right now in terms of cloud cover, really just some in the upstate, maybe some in the low country, maybe a little bit of the Midlands, but again, more just clear tonight. Now, these are a bit different. Oh, because I'm looking like very far into the future, that's why. But we go back over here to the 18Z real quick so we can get a full picture. We're going to start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. and kind of seeing exactly what I was talking about with how we just have isolated cloud cover activity. Now, that will kind of stay. We get all the way here, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. It's not really until we get into around 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. we start to see the entire state trying to get covered with cloud cover activity. And so that will continue all the way through. I mean, here's 11 o'clock in the morning, here's 12 o'clock p.m. Now we have cloud cover activity throughout pretty much a lot of the state now being covered with that cloud cover activity. Remember, the blue is the cloud cover, the white is the clear skies. Now we continue this forward even more all the way through 3 o'clock p.m., 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock p.m. I mean, cloud cover really still covering that entire state as we get into tomorrow evening. We move into tomorrow night, going into Thursday morning, going into Thursday afternoon. I mean, just still cloudy outside. So cloud cover definitely will be making its return as we get into tonight, going into tomorrow morning. But for right now, we're pretty much clear. So enjoy this last night right here of clear skies. Current temperatures right now, we have around a good 73 in Somerville, 69 in Charleston, as well as 69 in Beaufort, 67 in Hilton Head Island, as well as 72 in Orangeburg, 71 Georgetown, and 68 in Murrells Inlet, 66 in Myrtle Beach, and 71 in Conway, 72 in Florence, and 73 in Hartsville, 70 Lugoff, and 73 in Columbia, 71 in Newbury, Greenwood, Clemson, 72 in Greenville, Spartanburg, 73 in Gaffney. Now, in terms of your air quality for the most part looks like that a good amount of us are inside of that moderate activity right now, but I do think that most of us are probably inside of the good category. So meaning that if you're inside of the white areas or just the regular areas with no color over it, you're in the good area. Low country though, up there inside of the southern Midlands, the southern upstate in the western Midlands, over there inside the Grand Strand areas and even the eastern PD areas as well. We do in fact have a moderate risk of air quality there. So let's go. So, nothing really too much to really prepare for there except for just nothing. Because it's pretty normal. It's nothing abnormal or anything like that. Low temperatures for tonight, you have around 64 Greenville, Spartanburg, 63 in Rock Hill, 63 in Cheraw and Dillon, as well as 64 in Florence, 64 Sumter, and 64 in Columbia, 63 Anderson, Lawrence, Greenwood, Newbury. I mean, it just looked like 63 and 64 almost throughout the entire state, except for maybe 61 in Georgetown, Moncks Corner, Walterboro, 62 in Myrtle Beach, 63 Charleston, and then 65 in Hilton Head Island. So, looks like for the most part that we are going to be inside of the low to mid 60s tonight for our low temperatures tonight. Now for our rainfall, I mean, to everybody's surprise, really nobody, we have no precipitation that is expected throughout the next 24 hours. So that goes throughout tonight going into tomorrow. Now, I guess that doesn't really take too much into account that little shower that's going on right now over near York. Now that, they updated this last at, let's see what time, at around a good 5 o'clock. So that shower may have not even been occurring at that time. So that's probably one of the reasons why it's not included. But, if you're near that area, and you get that little shower activity over there, I mean, you still will receive accumulation. But for right now, it looks like that really is just that little area. Nothing really too much to really worry about except for that. The crazy score, try to get the crazy score. But again, my thing was down. Let me see if I can go on and refresh to see if it's working right now. Nope, still not working. Okay. Well, no crazy score for tonight. I'll see if it works at the end of the stream, see if I can get something there. But we're just going to move on to the SPC outlook. Tonight, well, thunderstorms would be possible if there was really any sort of convective activity, but there really is none, except for that little tiny shower up there inside of, the York area. But I mean, other than that, though, no thunderstorms really expected for tonight. Tomorrow, if there is any sort of convection, and that may also go into tomorrow night as well, there is indeed a little bit of a thunderstorm chance there up there in the upstate, Greenville, Spartanburg, Greenwood, going up into Anderson, Clemson, Gaffney. These areas have a risk. And then on Thursday, pretty much everybody else from the Midlands, southern, upstate, all the way down towards the coastal areas, everybody has a chance of a thunderstorm. If a shower gets going, it has the chance to definitely turn into one. Now for fire weather, excessive rainfall, none of that's expected at this time. So let's go in and look at the models. For the models, the time is at the bottom part of the screen. Make sure that you want to pay attention to that. We're going to start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. And as we go on and push this forward, I mean, the main thing that you're seeing is dryness. You're not seeing anything going all the way through Wednesday, 1 o'clock p.m., moving all the way through 4, 5, 6 o'clock p.m., nice and dry. 11 o'clock p.m. still dry. It's not really until we get into like the late night hours here Thursday or Wednesday going into like early Thursday morning, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning here. We now have rainfall activity that moves its way up into the upstate. And by the time you get into around 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, now you have rainfall kind of just light. I mean, throughout that entire time frame, light precipitation seems to be more than likely just what's going to happen as we go into that morning time frame. Now you continue all the way through. Here's 9 o'clock in the morning here on Thursday, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock p.m. Rainfall now going on throughout parts of the upstate now at that time. And honestly, it turns to a more linear system. And then there goes our cold front that we're watching for right here. Here goes the cold front. This is the system right now that's causing that huge tornado and severe weather event over there inside the central U.S. right now. That's what's causing it right now, is this cold front that's going to occur and hit us on Thursday. Now, will it be as bad, as it is over there? No, it's not going to, be that bad at all. It just looks like right now that it's just going to be some thunderstorm activity, gusty winds, breezy conditions. And I think I just saw something. Mr. Chris says those storms that are going through the Midwest, are those the ones coming for us on Thursday? Yes. But like I said, it won't be that bad. We're not going to see tornadoes. We're not going to see, wind gusts up to 70, 80 miles per hour like they're seeing over there right now. We're not going to see apple-sized hail, softball-sized hail, baseball-sized hail. We're not going to see that. We are just going to see showers, heavy rainfall, gusty winds, 30, 40 miles per hour. Never can rule out anything like 50, but not that bad, though. Not that bad. But that continues its way through, and then the cold front will just continue to move its way throughout the state, even by 2 o'clock p.m. But one thing that I do notice is that the timing of the cold front starts to try and move through the upstate in the morning hours, tries to move throughout the Midlands in like the late morning, early afternoon hours, tries to get throughout parts of the PD areas by, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock p.m., and, still not even in the low country by the time it hits around 2 o'clock p.m. So we still have a good amount of time inside the low country to potentially get into those 80s, especially over there inside of the Grand Strand areas as well. Definitely is some good time to maybe try and get into those 80s for Thursday and not trying to just stay restricted to the 60s and the 70s. Now, what about for, our actual cold front in terms of dew points? Well, right now, the dew points right now, this is just a good indicator to see, where the cold front is, how it's going to affect our dry air. And for the most part, pretty much, as you can see, it pushes its way through immediately. And we have that boundary start to set up between the 60s in terms of our dew points all the way up to the 40s. And so you can easily see where that cold front is here. So that's going to continue to move its way through. And like I said, still not even going to be inside the low country yet by the time you get into around 2 o'clock p.m. Now, in terms of our long-term future, we start off here at the 48-hour mark, 2 o'clock p.m. on Thursday. And for the most part, that rainfall is trying to get away from us. In fact, Friday looking like it's going to be nice and dry. Saturday comes along. Saturday actually going to be possibly looking like it's probably going to be the nicest day of the weekend. But Sunday comes along and definitely brings in some rainfall potentially. And this is completely different from what we thought just a couple of days ago, looking like that it was going to be a nice weekend just all around. Then the next day, which was yesterday, came around, the new models came out, and now they're saying that rainfall is potentially possible on Sunday. So now it's changing up. The European model kind of was always on that train of potential rainfall on Sunday, but now the GFS is kind of caught on board as well. So, like I said, Saturday looking like it's going to be a good day. Sunday, potentially rainfall as we go into this weekend. We move into Monday, Tuesday, cold air easily moves its way in. And for the most part, it looks like that it's going to be just more cooler air that tries to move its way in. And this cold air that we see as we go into next week, Monday going into Tuesday, could potentially be even more significant than what we are seeing in terms of this cold front on Thursday. So that's something definitely to look out for, is cold air that we see, on Thursday probably isn't going to be as bad as this cold air that we see on next week. Now, we continue through. Warm air tries to filter its way back through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Still some isolated shower activity possible as you go into the end parts of next week. But then as we move our way through into the weekend, things look a little bit better, but still active. Still active. Now, if we go in and look at the dew points, because I do want to see what the GFS says in terms of the dew points, and the cold front has the cold front pretty much trying to move its way in. Thursday, pretty much almost on par with the HRRR at this point. Saying upstate around the morning time frame, Midlands around probably around 12 o'clock p.m., 1 o'clock p.m., low country around 4 or 5 o'clock p.m.-ish or so. So pretty on par with what the HRRR has to say, and we'll look more at the HRRR tomorrow and see what that has to say as well. But also, if we want to go into next week as well, go through Tuesday, look at this huge cold front that we have pushing in here on Monday. We have a huge, huge cold front moving through that's going to bring our temperatures down. Now, I want to go back real quick to the convection, because we were just talking about a bit earlier to the European model, saying how the European model already had that precipitation for Sunday. Let's see if it's still there. Well, for the most part, it actually has some precipitation maybe moving in Saturday night. Into the coastal areas, but nothing during the day for Saturday though. So still seems like Saturday is still going to be pretty dry. Sunday coming along though, and as early as 2 to 8 o'clock in the morning, already rainfall is showing up throughout a good amount of the state. Now, it doesn't look like we're going to have just heavy downpours everywhere. That's not what the system looks like. The system just looks like it could potentially be just some isolated, or maybe not even isolated, I'd say numerous light shower to moderate shower activity, and maybe the potential for a little bit heavy in some spots, but I'm not looking at widespread rainfall throughout the entire state at all times. Nothing like that. And so that's what we have for Sunday. Euro still sticking to it. Now, what about for the temperatures for the future? Well, we're going to start off with the temperature anomalies first. We're going to see what the temperature anomalies have to see here. In terms of our temperatures, obviously, and our averages. So we're going to start off here at 2 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. We're above average. We are above average over here inside of South Carolina by the time we move into tomorrow. We go all the way through, nice day. We're having fun in the sun for the most part. Cloud cover will be trying to, move its way, but we're having fun in the sun. We're over here dancing outside. Everybody's getting some work done. It's just overall nice, peaceful, but very warm, potentially even hot day tomorrow. If you saw the high temperatures from earlier, which are right here. Which actually, now that I think about it, I don't even think I even went over the high temperatures for tomorrow. But these are the high temperatures for tomorrow. If I did forget about them. Mainly all the way 80s throughout pretty much most of the upstate, Midlands, low country areas, PD areas. We even see 89 in Columbia. Somebody, in my opinion, I think somebody's going to hit 90 tomorrow. Where will it be? Probably somewhere in the Midlands, but for right now, somebody probably will hit 90 tomorrow. Could even be inside the low country as well. Could be inside the PD area. But back to the models here. We continue our way through. We're 20, 25 degrees above average tomorrow. Again, fun in the sun. But Thursday comes along. And let me go in and there we go. Thursday comes along, brings in that cold front. We get below average temperatures. And, we're 6 to 10 to 15 degrees below average as we go all the way through Thursday. Friday comes along, brings in some more temperatures that are more just normal. As we get through Friday, those temperatures starting to just recoup from being too cool. And then we get into Saturday. Saturday, nice day outside. Saturday, we're 10 degrees above average now. And we're starting to get back to it. Sunday comes along. It looks like that we are regrouping. We're getting back to that 15 to 20 degree above average mark. Everything's looking good. But then we move through, and Monday comes along and kicks everything. All of that warm air that we had just recouped, all the warm air that we're trying to build up, that cold front on Monday just pushes that out the way completely. and we are back to square one in terms of cold air. Now, it does look like that we will continue to actually even drop even more. I mean, even as we get into Tuesday, 16 to 20 degrees below average is what we're looking at throughout a good majority of the state. All the way through Tuesday. Wednesday comes along, we're still like 10 degrees below average. Then we get into Thursday. Thursday comes along, not as below average. Not as below average. I mean, we're still 2 to 4 to 5 degrees below average. But that's not bad. That's not too far from the average. 5 degrees is not too far from that average, which is why it's a very light blue on the map. And then as we get through Thursday, we get through Friday, what do you start to see? That warm air trying to come back as we get all the way through Saturday, we get through Sunday, and then we get all the way through Monday of, not next week Monday, by the way, we're talking about the week after next week, Monday. On the 23rd, that's why I said looking at the bottom and at that time is important to make sure that you don't lose me and, get the wrong date. But, 15, 20 degrees above average again, moving through Tuesday. We get back to trying to get some cooler air trying to move throughout the state. Now, that's 300 hours out, and that looks more like a cold air damming setup to where, we have that cold air on the eastern side of the mountains, warmer on the western side of the mountains. It just looks like a classic cold air damming setup. So we'll see what happens there, and we'll see what we can see. But for right now, it just looks like that we are going to just continue to have to wait, see what happens for a lot of these temperatures as we get into like the mid to late, mainly the late part of March. I think mid-March now, we pretty much are very close to mid-March. We're, let's see, about 111 hours away. 106 hours away until around the 15th. So that's the halfway point or so. So we still don't have that much longer left until mid-March. Early March is we're pretty much done with that time frame now. And we're getting to mid-March now. And then we're going to start talking about mainly the end parts of March. And not quite April yet. We are getting close to there, but not quite there yet. But that's pretty much all I have to say there in terms of our temperature anomalies. What about the actual temperatures that a lot of people may be wanting to know and ask about? We go on and continue to push this forward. You see temperatures tomorrow, like I said, up into the 80s. We're seeing high 80s, and honestly, I think that the GFS may be underdoing it a little bit. I only see 85s. I see like a couple of 86s, maybe some 87s, but I think that the GFS definitely could be underdoing it a little bit here. But we continue our way forward, and then, like I said, there may be that shot. I said maybe a shot that the low country or the PD area or the Grand Strand areas may try to hit 80. And, we're looking over here in Myrtle Beach, we see 75. I see the highest temperature near 76. You got to remember, these go off at 3 hour intervals, meaning that pretty much it updates every 3 hours. Not every hour, not every minute, not every second, every 3 hours. So that means that, we're missing about a good 3 hours in terms of interval. This is why this is a long-term model. Now, if we continue this forward, you can see for the most part, cold air definitely trying to bring its way through as we go into Friday. This is Friday morning right here. Morning temperatures on Friday into the 30s and 40s. We move all the way into Friday during the day. High temperatures trying to just stay up into the 60s, maybe some 70s here and there, but we get into Saturday morning now, up into the 50s for your morning temperatures. Maybe some 40s, high 40s, low 50s, maybe even mid 50s near the coast. We get into Saturday during the day, again, trying to get back up into like the mid 70s or so. And, we look good. Maybe even some 80s on Sunday is potentially possible. But then there goes that big cold front that pushes through. And what do you see here? Freezing temperatures making a return. Yes, this is Tuesday, 8 o'clock in the morning. Freezing temperatures making a return all the way up there inside of the upstate. Now, not everybody, but just the upstate. But look at the next day. Freezing temperatures may be trying to make its way through again. Yesterday, it had freezing temperatures going on throughout like the entire state. It was kind of crazy. But it doesn't show it today. So at least that's something good. And for the most part, I mean, temperatures just try to climb back up. And every time they climb back up, oh, well, cold air just comes right back down and just completely just kills that dream, pretty much for the most part. So that's pretty much all I had to say in terms of the long-term future and in terms of the short-term future. Let me see, is my thing working real quick? See if it is working. Or is it still under high demand right now? No? Okay, I got that part done. Let's see if we can get the actual score part done. But let's go on while that's doing its thing. Go on and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off, Mile Lewis says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. I pray that everyone had a great day." Well, I did. Thank you so much for that. Mr. Chris says, "Hello, everyone. Hope you had a great day." I did. Thank you so much for that as well. Got to 86 degrees here inside of Monk's Corner. Well, thank you so much for that weather report. Currently, it's 76. Well, right now at my house, it is around a good 71 right now. High temperatures today got up to around 84. Mile Lewis says, "Today in Georgetown, we had a little shower. It lasted long, but the sun came out beautifully. Well, thank you so much for that weather report as well. My name says, "Hello, Jay. A beautiful day. Glad to hear that." Mile Lewis says, "Our high today was 83, currently 69. And then Mr. Chris says, "Please remember to go hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also share with everyone that you know. It's free, helps the channel grow." He's absolutely correct. Right now we have around a good 12 people watching and only 5 likes. If you are part of that group that don't hit the like button yet, go on and do so. It's free and you can change your mind at any time. Trail says, "Greetings everyone, greetings to you." Milo says that little quick shower did not cool us off. Instead it got hotter. We didn't have any fog this morning. Not really too much fog was really expected this morning, if I believe so. From this, let me see. Actually, or was that inside my title? Yes, I did. I said patchy fog clearing. Okay. Well, no, actually, I do apologize for that. There was some fog that was potentially possible this morning, but it was patchy fog, so not everybody was going to see it, most likely. Then continue our way down. Mr. Chris says, "We didn't have any rain here, just very cloudy and hot." Same thing at my house today. It was cloudy, and it was hot today. The sun did peek out a little bit at times, though. So I will say that that was good to see, at least. And then my Aunt Lula says, "All those tornadoes, I will pray for safety for everyone in those areas." Mr. Chris says, "I agree. I know. Very, very unfortunate situation for what's going on over there right now, like we were talking about at the beginning in the central U.S. And we'll talk about, who's going to get hit with that potentially in the future, who's going to have severe weather tomorrow, because it will expand into tomorrow. So, and it's going to continue to expand east. We'll talk about those areas in just about 5 to probably around like 5 minutes or so once we're done talking about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. Mr. Chris says, "Can you also check the Cape for Thursday?" I mean, Cape for Thursday, it's like, it could be there. But like I said, they're not really seeing anything there. Let me check out the Cape, though. I haven't seen it yet. Cape for Thursday. Thursday is along. I mean, you see like only about like 700 joules per kilogram. So, I see a little something. It does say marginal tornado, but again, the National Weather Service hasn't said anything with it yet in terms of it yet. But I did say that gusty winds, breezy conditions are possible. And, if you look at the winds up into the atmosphere, they are kind of cranking a little bit. So, we'll see what happens there. Let me go in and check out the CIPS real quick. See what they have there. Let me just take you over to the drought real quick. The CIPS, the CSU model for today. That's what they have there for tomorrow, for day 3. The CSU has a little marginal risk over there instead of a little bit of South Carolina. So, again, that's not official. Again, we follow what the National Weather Service says. We follow what the SPC Outlook says. And right now, they don't have anything for us right now. But, the CSU does have, a little marginal risk there. And there is some Cape there. There is the dew points that are going to be there. And there is going to be some of the potential Definitely some winds cranking, which is, why we're going to have breezy conditions moving through. So, I definitely could see that. I definitely can maybe see them. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, I guess, if they actually did add a little severe weather risk. We'll see what happens, though. We will see what happens. But if they continue to say that there's no severe weather risk, well, we're just going to continue to just say that. Milo says, great to know that it won't be as bad. We deserve a little break from the cold weather. Well, cold weather, this week, no, not really, but cold weather next week, especially if you're up there inside of the upstate, freezing temperatures. So let's go and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, 4 locations, what am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they tune in almost nightly, we go on and talk about their areas for them. So starting off with San Antonio first, you have low temperatures tonight at around 65, high temperatures for tomorrow at around 83, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 50. Now, precipitation is expected tonight. Precipitation is expected for tonight. That is for shower activity, and tomorrow as well. Tomorrow during the day, showers are possible. Tomorrow night, though, it kind of does end, though, so you're not really going to see anything there, though, either. Now, in terms of your future severe weather for tonight, you do have a little marginal risk. In fact, has it even reached you yet? No. The potential severe weather hasn't even reached you yet. You do have a tornado warning right now inside of Comfort, Texas, and Waring, Texas, though, so that's pretty close to San Antonio, though, so you probably know those areas right now that I'm talking about. So it hasn't reached you yet. Severe weather hasn't reached you yet. Your hazards, for the most part, 2% chance of tornadoes, 5% chance of damaging winds, and a 5% chance of damaging hail there. For your future, it looks like that you will maybe cool down a little bit on Thursday, but for the most part, staying in the 80s as you go all the way throughout this weekend. I mean, this weekend, 90 degrees on Sunday potentially possible, and you will drop after that, though. Monday, 68, Tuesday, 72, so after Sunday, you'll get a good day up into the 90s, but then it will drop right back down. And after Wednesday, after tomorrow, after that shower chance, you're done in terms of really rainfall. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, nice conditions. Then for Raleigh, North Carolina, you have low temperatures tonight at 62, high temperatures for tomorrow around 89, then low temperatures tomorrow night at 64. Precipitation is not expected tonight or tomorrow, but tomorrow night there is a slight chance of shower activity. Now, for the most part, it looks like it's going to be mainly after 2 o'clock in the morning. Wind gusts are going to be a bit breezy tomorrow, as high as 25 to 26 miles per hour tomorrow, so that's a possibility. Thursday, you have a 90% chance of rainfall. At Thursday night, a 60% chance. Now, severe weather, excessive rainfall, that's not expected. But in terms of your future, it looks like that you will cool down, after 89 on Wednesday, 71 on Thursday, 62 on Friday, 71 on Saturday. Even maybe 76 on Sunday and then 69 on Monday. So things will calm down and will cool down for you. Maybe even a high of 47 on Thursday. Just definitely watching out for those cooler temperatures there. And then for Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at around 53. High temperatures for tomorrow at around a good 51, or high temperatures tomorrow at 78, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 51. Precipitation is possible tonight. Not possible tonight. It's tomorrow night. Showers are likely tomorrow night, and tomorrow during the day there is a chance of showers there as well. Severe weather is actually possible. Wednesday, March the 11th, you have a slight risk of severe weather. What is that for? What are the hazards for it? Well, it is for a 2% chance of tornadoes, a 5% chance of damaging winds or damaging hail, and the main threat being a 15% risk of damaging winds. So that's your main threat. Damaging winds. Now, in terms of excessive rainfall, that's not expected. For your future, looks like that you will cool down as you go into tomorrow. Will be like your last warm day, 50s going into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then once you get through Sunday and Monday, getting back down into the 60s. And Tuesday, your high temperature on Tuesday will be 37 potentially. So those winter-like temperatures, they're coming back. They are coming back. Rainfall is possible as you go all the way through Wednesday, Thursday, as well. And they already have an 80% chance of rain for Sunday night going into Monday as well. So you may as well just already prepare for rainfall Sunday night going into Monday if they already have an 80% chance of rainfall there. But things can always change, I guess. Then finally, Duncan, Oklahoma, low temperatures tonight at around 54. High temperatures for tomorrow at around 68. And then low temperatures for tomorrow night at around 35. Thunderstorms are likely tonight. In fact, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning right now, if I'm not mistaken. Or you were under one earlier. Excuse me. You were under one earlier. I think they let it expire around 15 minutes ago or so. So you're done with that for right now. And it looks like that your threat of severe weather is pretty much done. You just have a little severe thunderstorm warning move its way through for you. So you're done with that. Thunderstorms after, that main one has moved through, showers moving through. Tomorrow, though, it's going to be dry but a bit windy. And tomorrow night, no rainfall is expected. Severe weather, as I said, pretty much done for tonight. You still are under that enhanced risk, though, but once they update it, you'll most likely be out of it by that time. For your future, going to continue to stay dry all the way throughout into, next week. Your Wednesday, 68. As your high, 64 on Thursday, 78 on Friday. You will warm back up as you go into the weekend, though. And, like I said, it's going to be windy tomorrow. In fact, it's going to be wind gusts of up to 40 miles per hour tomorrow. So, if you was to go on and look at the actual scale for winds, for the most part, when you have those gusts going of up to 40 miles per hour, that's around, where's it at, though? This one's in meters per second. That is not in miles per hour. This is still not in miles per hour. Okay, they just really love to make it in meters per second. Well, I tried to go in and just look at something, but okay, there it is. So, if you get those wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour, only, twigs breaking from trees, walking against wind is very difficult, but nothing else too crazy besides that. And then, for the most part, that's about it for your future. So let's go ahead and talk about the entire U.S. weather news-wise. That includes South Carolina. That includes the 4 areas that we just talked about. And so, for the most part, looks like right now that isolated to scattered severe thunderstorms are expected Wednesday from the Arklatex and the lower Mississippi valleys, northeast through the Ohio Valley and the Mid-Atlantic. Thunderstorms may produce heavy to excessive rainfall that could pose a flooding threat from eastern Texas into the upstate of New York. A modest atmospheric river will bring heavy snow and high winds to the northwestern U.S. We're going to see high wind watches and high wind warnings going on all the way from Washington over into the Dakota. So it's going to be a lot of wind up there, very high winds over there. We obviously know about the severe weather coming, or already occurring right now from southern, Michigan over into Indiana, Illinois, going into Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. That stuff's already going on right now. And then some winter weather potentially possible in parts of Wisconsin and northern Michigan. In terms of severe weather for tomorrow, I said I would talk about those risks real quick. And for the most part, for tomorrow, slight risk of severe weather for Philadelphia, Indianapolis, Columbus, Memphis, Tennessee, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., going on in Charleston, West Virginia, not Charleston, South Carolina, Charleston, West Virginia, all of Kentucky, going over into Jackson, Mississippi, Alexandria, going into potentially Baton Rouge over there inside of Louisiana. So if you know anybody in those areas, let them know. Severe weather is coming for them for tomorrow. Not as bad potentially as tonight. Obviously we won't know what happens tomorrow until tomorrow happens. So that's why you always just have to be prepared. It's just a chance. It is just a chance right now. So for right now, that's what we're looking at there. And then a marginal risk of severe weather for Houston, Texas, Austin, New Orleans, Toledo, Birmingham's included in there, Chattanooga's included, Richmond, Virginia's in there as well. Dallas is just outside of it. So those are the areas that we're looking for there. For the most part, I think that is about all that I have to say there for right now. And one more thing before we go, and I talk about the top fans real quick, one more thing about the entire U.S., and that is there was, if anybody was interested, a tornado emergency that was just issued over there inside of Knox, Indiana. If you know where that is, Knox, Indiana, Indian Hill, Brems, Indiana as well. There is a deadly tornado moving throughout that area right now. If you know anybody inside that area, just to the west over there of Plymouth, Indiana, let them know. Check on them. Make sure that they are okay, because there's a deadly tornado moving throughout that area right now. So, we hope that all are taking the precautions that they need to do or that they need to take for this situation, because that is something that you don't want to mess with. Something that you don't want to mess with. Deadly tornadoes, you do not want to mess with that at all. But now that is out of the way, let's go on and check out the top fans of the night for tonight. Honestly, it was very little competition tonight, except for Mr. Griffin Maialua, which right now, if I go in and check, I see 10. I see 10 for one, and then I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, hold on, let me go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yes, Mr. Chris won for tonight. Maialua's at number 2, and then my Nana's at number 3. So that's it for the top fans of the night for tonight. If you want to be a part of the top fans, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Also being here early, being a subscriber, because if you're not a subscriber, you can't type, and then also going on and being active. If you do all those four, you most likely will be close to the tops, or even at the top. So let's go on and give them a round of applause. So that's all that I can see there. Let me check out the chat. Miss Chris says, just rechecked my temperature. It's around 75 degrees. Thank you so much for that update there. And I think that's about all I have to say here tonight. Make sure if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Also hit the subscribe button. We're at 715, trying to get to 800. 85. Now 85 away from 800. And 10. Just 10 subscribers away from the quarter of the way mark, 725. Let's go on and get there. I will be back tomorrow morning for your Wednesday morning forecast update. And then tomorrow evening for your Wednesday evening forecast update. Make sure you go on and hit those two buttons before you leave.